Alhamdulillah. Yeah, God is great. David Haney with a remarkable points win over George Kambosos in Australia. David Haney walked out to a roar of boos, but that didn't faze him because Devin Haney, had his dad beside him, the one who came out the airport saying, "I'm here for my son. Devin, don't worry, I'm here." And this is what the result came to. David Haney boxed remarkably. He boxed with extreme amount of discipline and focus in this fight from minute 1 all the way down to the last minute of the 12th round. He done a few key things in this fight that made him win. Jab, duck, pivot, step out of range completely. Those are the handful of things that make Devin Haney win this fight. George Kambosos couldn't even get into range. Yeah, and this is what happens when if you can't even get into range, what exactly can you do? Because now you're just hitting blanks. He throws haymakers, hitting blanks. Tries to set up a shot. It's being read like a book. Devin Haney was defending, particularly from the left hook, and defending from put his right hand very high and made sure that base was completely covered. And if he was coming from that other side as well, he would just duck. He would do very, very simple things, but he was well prepared. And from watching this fight, I don't get the impression that George Kambosos was well prepared, even conditionally. Like, George Kambosos needed to throw a large quantity of punches to win even the rounds, let alone win the fight. To win even a couple of rounds here and there, he needed to throw a large quantity of punches, and he didn't do that. And he even towards the back end, he just looked a bit knackered, he looked a bit sluggish. Was he well conditioned? You saw it on the weight, or on the scales. He came in overweight. He had 2 hours to drop that weight, which he did, but that put a doubt in a lot of people's minds that, look, this guy's not physically ready. This guy's not physically as conditioned as he was in the Teofimo Lopez fight. And you saw it in this fight. You saw that he didn't throw a large quantity of punches, and even despite of all of that, towards the back end, he looked out of it. His shots were very uncalibrated, and you know what? In my opinion, had he just thrown hell for leather and thrown a lot of haymakers, I probably one of them would have came through and would have rocked Devin Haney slightly, a little bit. But he didn't do that. He wanted to look for that perfect shot, and that's what made him lose this fight in particular. Devin Haney, literally, like, every round was almost symmetrical. Apart from round number 5, which I gave it to George Kambosos, every round was symmetrical. That jab, double jab, jab, clinch, jab, duck, pivot, jab, pivot. Literally, it was those simple moves that you can see he's been working in the training camp on those specific moves. If George Kambosos comes back, block with the right hand, and if he comes around the other side, pivot on the front foot. It was remarkable. Towards the back end, you just saw Devin Haney pick him apart. George Kambosos in that last round, I think, tried to throw a Hail Mary shot. Devin Haney completely moved out the way. George Kambosos landed completely into the ropes. Devin Haney, absolute masterclass of a performance. Absolute masterclass performance. Wow. That is arguably the best performance out of the 4 kings that you've seen in the lightweight division. I'm not including, actually, you know what? I'm not including Lomachenko in this one. I'm just including Teofimo Lopez, Ryan Garcia, Gervonta Tank Davis, and Devin Haney. Out of those 4 fighters, he has put in the best performance to date. That performance, I would class it either a 9.5 out of 10 or a solid 10 out of 10. Everything was sweet. There's nothing George Kambosos could have done anything different. Maybe more punches, but nothing, because the range in which Devin Haney found himself in, he looked like he got the range from the get-go. He looked like usually it takes a couple of rounds to find the range and really understand what the tactics of the opposing fighter is doing. He never did that. From minute 1, he knew exactly how far George Kambosos was away from him, and he got everything spot on. Absolutely remarkable performance. Alhamdulillah for a Devin Haney win. Where does he go from this next? he has to fight George Kambosos again. I am confident that he could do this again, because you can't teach somebody to defeat a guy with a superior boxing skill as David Haney. You can't teach that fighter in George Kambosos to beat him within a 6-7 month period. It's impossible, because in this fight he had no success. Literally, maybe 1 or 2 punches here, but literally no success. A couple of times in previous rematches, you can say, okay, if I do a bit more of this, if I work on this a bit more, this worked in that fight, cool, you can run with it. Now he's got nothing to go. It's basically as if he never fought him to begin with. I don't know what George Kambosos is going to do. I think he should just leave Devin Haney and let him run away. Overall, much love for all of you guys who tuned into the live watch along. Peace, love, and prosperity, guys. And the new lightweight world champion, undisputed champion, goes to Devin Haney. I'll catch you guys in a bit. Peace.